The biggest nightmare of Indian economists is the quality of data. Sample this from the latest IIP release for August. Stainless or alloy steel grew by 160.8%. Air conditioners grew by 80.1%. Plastic machinery, including molding machinery, by 59.4%. Again, items showing high negative growth. Telephone instruments, including mobile phones and accessories, shrunk by 57.2%. Computers were down 49.5%. Now, how can air conditioners grow by 80% year-on-year or plastics by 60% when the GDP is growing by 5%? How can telephone instruments fall 58% in a month when companies have reported more telephone connections? Economists and businessmen are constantly thrown back by the amazing volatility of the IIP data. Their horrors magnify when they are told the IIP data is used to calculate GDP and other data. Other big gaps in India's statistics is the lack of labor data. We must be one of the few countries with no single unemployment figure, not even lagged one. And then services. We are told 60% of India's GDP comprises services, but data is seriously infrequent and very sketchy. Financial services in the last several quarters has grown in double digits, but economic activity remains weak at 5%, and hence the number is suspect. All told, as several policymakers have said, the biggest constraint to good policies is good data. Hello and welcome to this edition of Indianomics. I'm Lata Venkatesh. That story we just narrated has some of the problems that we face with Indian statistics. So, what's the fountainhead of India's data, the Central Statistical Organization, doing about this? I have with me the chief statistician of the country, Dr. T.C.A. Ananth, the head of the CSO, and with him, probably his guru, Dr. Pranab Sen, who is the former chief statistician, the former chief of the CSO, and now chairman of the Statistical Commission, a body tasked with improving the quality of statistics. Gentlemen, welcome. Well, let me straight away put that first question to you, Professor Ananth. Why is the IIP data so full of such extreme numbers? You know, air conditioners 80%, alloy steel 160%. It's year on year. You can't even say it is seasonal.
Let me give you a simple answer. You may be aware, some time back, Maruti factory in India, which produces virtually all its cars from Gurgaon, had a serious labor trouble. Their output went from whatever it was to zero in a very short period of time. For a fixed single entity, these types of fluctuations do happen. There could be any number of reasons for why a single entity sees volatility in its productions. Now, in principle, when you disaggregate IIP down to individual items, the volatility you are seeing is a reflection of how many entities are producing that item and how many of them are being captured in IIP. Remember, IIP is an index which has a certain statistical construct. In other words, it has a fixed base and a fixed set of entities which are tracked through a period of time. Now, you can turn and say, why not do something else? But that's a different problem. This index is defined like this, and this definition is given very clearly in its methodology.
Dr. Sen, to get you into the same conversation, into the same question, I mean, while one-off, volatile data like a minus 160% or plus 160% can be explained by a strike, my sense is, and I'm pretty certain about this, that the volatility is far more than the number of strikes we have. Now, as the head of the Statistics Commission, is this a problem you are addressing? How are you planning to address this, if at all?
Well, in a sense, it links up to what Ananth said. The fact of the matter is that as a country, for a large number of individual products, there are a very few number of companies which totally dominate. Now, it's not just a question of strikes. Every firm, every unit will have a planned downtime. No plant can work 365 days a year on the same basis. There are planned outages, planned downtimes, which get reflected in the way the data gets captured. Now, this would have been less of a problem if there had been a large number of units, because then it would, hopefully, what would happen is things would average out. across the
Dr. Sen,
companies.
can we correct it in some fashion in the sense, I mean, these are days of such high automation. Surely we can, connect this electronically to either excise duty data or, some other kind of capture it in a different fashion so that a range of sectors or companies in the unorganized sector are captured. Is there some way to correct it given the evolution in electronic?
Well, as I said, that there are natural limitations to what can be done in terms of volatility. There are two ways of reducing volatility. The first, of course, is to increase the number of units. But as I said, that given the fact that we do have a very long-tailed industry structure for most products, you can't get away from what is happening. There are very few companies that produce the bulk of the output, and therefore whatever volatility is there in their production is going to get reflected in the data. That's number one. The second way of doing it is, as Anand said, is that you aggregate. So instead of having individual product level, you have category level data, which will be smoother. But again, if you look at it in terms of the use that people make of this information, you either take it at the totally aggregate level, which is the IIP itself, which is used essentially by finance companies and finance departments to really track the movement of the economy. It's used by us to calculate the quarterly GDP and so on. On the other hand, you have industry level analysts who want to have the industry level data, and there's the product level data. So you've got both the extremes, and you just have to live with it. They're telling you different things,
okay.
And what it is telling you is legitimate at both ends.
Okay. Well, let me, I could belabor this point further, but I'll get to the other angst, which is a little minor, because prices data perhaps is more reliable. But Dr. Sen, as we move from WPI to CPI, CPI has not evolved in the same lines as WPI. That same level of disaggregation is not there, and there is a lot of confusion. For instance, I think part of the diesel gets reflected in the core CPI, that is transportation. So in that miscellaneous and others, the level of detail is not there. Is one of the projects before you and the CSO to improve the disaggregation in the CPI?
Well, the data is disaggregated enough. We just don't release it.
Oh.
And we don't release
Why don't
it
you?
for precisely the same reason that Anand said, is that you're going to get a huge amount of volatility in each at the product level.
Okay.
These
but
are
the prices, so CPI, will you get so much?
Basically composed of taking a number of things, putting them all together, and then expecting that their individual fluctuations will cancel themselves out. But insofar as the database is concerned, we have it down to the individual product.
No, Dr. Sen, I'm asking you about why aren't disaggregated CPI data released?
Let me answer that. There are two things. One, CPI is a new series, and before we release disaggregated data, we want to be sure that the data flow is smooth. At the disaggregated level, CPI data suffers from one limitation, which we are working to make sure that our release pattern conforms to that. And in a large number of items,
yes,
this concerns to issues relating to specification change. You see, we collect data on items. Now, items go in and out of market based on people's preferences and characteristics. When an item goes out, CPI has a method of replacing it with the nearest item which has become more popular. So, for example, a particular type of clothing or a particular type of fan or electricity product or whatever is being used by the consumer may not be available, and something else has come in. Now, whenever specifications change, the price level changes. CPI has a well-defined method. It's there. You'll have to read the detailed methodology as to how specification changes are handled and introduced into the index calculation. Now, when we release disaggregated data, these will have to be flagged and pointed out.
Yes.
So, yes, it is under consideration, but the caveats which will accompany the release have to be clearly delineated, worked out before we can start the process of release.
Actually, that's welcome if they come with the caveats, because my sense is that actually every month when you release, even for that matter, IIP data, why doesn't the CSO actually present that? For instance, in recent months we saw a dip in IIP in July and August. It was because of the shutdown of the Nokia plant in Chennai, which could have been mentioned. So perhaps a richer list of caveats while collecting and presenting, disseminating the data would help. But we have to take a break on that note. We are back.
Please appreciate that there is a conflict between a very detailed reporting of the individual problems which occur in each one of. Every item, every sector has some issue which is certainly worth noting. If all of this were to be documented and incorporated, it would be physically impossible for a small unit to produce it.
Fair enough. For the moment, actually, sir, time constraint, we have to take a break. We are back with more questions. Back in a minute with Dr. Sen and Professor Anand.